Welcome students, my name is Tanay and with the help of this particular video I will provide an introduction to Mahabharata to all of you out there. But before I start this video, I want you all to understand two things. So the first thing is that in this particular video you will find slides in which I already have mentioned all the important points as well as the potential MCQs that can show up in the examination hall. And the second point is that this particular video is very important and quite relevant for those students who have opted for English literature and are enrolled in the academic session from 2023 to 2027. Okay, so without any further ado, let us start this particular video. Just pay attention. Okay, so right in front of you, this is the first slide. Now pay attention. This slide contains 10 points. So we will discuss each and every point one by one. Okay, so the first point is the name itself, Mahabharat. And I do not think that there is even one person in India who is not aware of this particular name. But interesting thing is second point. The original name for Mahabharat or initially the name for Mahabharat was Jaya Samhita, and I am sure I can speak this thing with conviction that a lot of people may not be aware of this particular fact. So, and this is a very important point, can show up as an MCQ in examination. So keep this point in your mind. Okay, third point is it is an ancient epic. Now, why an epic? So there are stories that get affected by time or just because they are old they lose their relevance or significance. So it's not the case with Mahabharata is still relevant and it will continue to remain relevant. So those things that remain relevant for longer duration of time, for centuries, decades, and like really long duration of time, they become epic or they take the form of epic. Okay, fourth point is that Mahabharata contains 1 lakh verses, and now this particular aspect of Mahabharata makes it very voluminous. So it's not a book that you can read during a train journey or a flight journey. So it's a quite voluminous book. Okay, fifth point is very important. It has been narrated by sage Vyas, right? A lot of people still believe that sage Vyas has actually written this epic. No, it's wrong. He has narrated this epic, and this epic has been penned down, written by Lord Ganesh. Now, keep one more point in your mind. Quickly, I will explain this thing. Krishna Dvayapayana is the original name or birth name of sage Vyas. Why Krishna? Because Krishna is a word that is used for someone whose complexion is slightly dark. Okay, sixth point. Vyas. The word Vyas stands for compiler or he who compiles. As we all know, Veda Vyas has compiled Mahabharata. Okay, not written. Keep this thing in your mind. Okay, he has compiled Mahabharata. Good. Okay. Seventh point. Uh, Again, I am surprised, but a lot of people will get confused if you ask them this question that which epic contains Bhagavad Gita, right? So this can be confusing for a few. Contains within it Bhagavad Gita. Mahabharata contains within it Bhagavad Gita. In English, we can say that Bhagavad Gita is song by God. Gita has 18 chapters, 700 verses, and is found in Bhishma Parv or book number 6 from chapter number 26 to 40. Now, Bhishma Parv, what is this? You all can write in the comment box as well, but I will explain it to you. Checkpoint number 8. Parv stands for book, edition, or part. Write in the comment box how many of you have read Harry Potter books or Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones. Okay, so these books are in parts. So Harry Potter has 8 parts. Game of Thrones, I do not know how many parts does Game of Thrones have, but Lord of Rings has 3 parts. So if an Indian says that Mahabharata has 18 parts or 18 books, it would not be wrong. So parva means books basically. You can also say that uh, Harry Potter has 8 parvs. It would be totally correct. There is nothing wrong in this. So one parv means one book. Okay. Okay. Mahabharata has, by the way, 18 parvs. Okay. Moving to point number 9. Mahabharata was written around 4th century BCE. Now, this is a question. Okay. Why I have written BCE and then in bracket I have mentioned BC. BCE stands for before Common Era. On the other hand, BC stands for before Christ. Nowadays we have started using BCE. If you go a few years back in time, you would find that BC was in use. So BCE, why BCE is being used? The only reason is that BCE is more secular if compared to BC. So even if you have to use, or if you have to choose between BCE and BC, it would be better and it would be wise if you pick BCE instead of BC. Okay, moving to the 10th and last point of this particular slide. Mahabharata has 18 parvs, as I already have mentioned, which means Mahabharata has 18 books basically. Good. Moving to the second slide. Now, this particular slide is nothing but the family tree of Kuru dynasty of Hastinapur. So the family that ruled in Hastinapur was the Kuru family. So let us start and let us understand this family tree quickly. It's quite complex. Uh, if you go in depth, it may consume 4 to 5 hours just to understand who is related to whom and in which way. But I will quickly try to explain this family tree to all of you. King Shantanu was the first uh, Kuru member. King Shantanu had two wives, one personified a form of Ganga, the river, second Satyavati. From Ganga, he had Bhishma. Bhishma was the eighth son of Ganga. Also, Ganga had drowned 7 of her own sons, received from Shantanu. Uh, why? Nobody knows, because Ganga put this condition before Shantanu before marriage that he would not question any of the actions or deeds of Ganga. So he never questioned until Bhishma. So, okay, from second wife, Shantanu had Chitrangad and Vichitravir. Chitrangad was killed in a battle against Gandharvas. Vichitravir died childless. Also, there is a secret. It's not a secret, but a lot of people may not be aware of this particular fact. But Vyas, sage Vyas, is also a son of Satyavati. When Satyavati was unmarried, she received Vyas from Rishi Parasar. So, so she requests Vyas to bless Ambika and Ambalika with one son each, following the process of niyog. Well, I will not go deep into the process of niyog. I will explain it in a separate video because it will consume time. So, following the process of niyog, Ambika got Dhritarashtra, Ambalika got Pandu. Again, something wrong happened during this niyog process, because of which Dhritarashtra turned out to be blind and Pandu was destined to remain ill throughout his life. So, so they decided to take one more attempt, but this time instead of going themselves, they decided to send their maid. So they sent a maid, and from that particular maid, we have Vidur, the council of the court over here. Okay, Dhritarashtra got married to Gandhari, and Pandu got married to two wives, Kunti, the daughter of Kunti Bhoj, and Madri, the sister of a king of Madra, Shalya. Okay, from Gandhari, Dhritarashtra had 100 sons and one daughter, and from Kunti and Madri together, Pandu had 5 sons total. So we will understand how they were born. So let us move to the next slide. You can take the screenshot because this particular explanation, this entire diagram is is quite accurate and is quite concise also. So you can pause the video and take the screenshot. This will help you in future as well. When you will read the entire book, you will come back to this particular screenshot. Okay, moving to the third slide. Here is the third slide. Now, in this particular slide, I have mentioned how Kauravas and Pandavas were born. Okay, this is very interesting and very important. So, speaking of Kauravas, father is of course Dhritarashtra, mother is Gandhari. But here is the thing, Gandhari did not give birth to alive kids. Okay, instead of kids, a lump of muscle came out of her womb. And again, it was sage Vyas who cut that particular lump of meat into 101 pieces. So, out of those 101 pieces, 100 were sons and one daughter. So, sons were, of course, Duryodhan, Dushashan, and 98 other brothers. But pay attention over here. Dhritarashtra loved his son so much that he would often pronounce Duryodhan as Suyodhan, because according to Dhritarashtra, Duryodhan was slightly negative name. Okay, they all 100 brothers had one daughter. Sorry, had one sister. Her name was Dushala. Later on, she became wife of Jayadratha, the king of Sindh. Good. Moving to the Pandavas. So father was of course Pandu, but their birth, the process, the entire story of their birth is slightly complicated. Okay, I will try to explain it, provided that it doesn't consume that much time. Okay, so Pandu wanted to have three sons from Kunti and two from Madri. But Pandu made a mistake. He killed, of course, by mistake, not deliberately, he killed Rishi Kidamb and his wife and received a curse, because of which he could not undergo the process of reproduction. So, and when Kunti was young, she had received a boon, a mantra from Rishi Durvasha, and if she would recite that particular mantra, she would receive a kid from any of the gods. So she remembers three gods and receives Yudhishthir from Dharmaraj, Bhima from Pavan, and Arjun from Indra. And then Madri recites this particular mantra twice, and she receives Nakul and Sahadev from Ashwini Kumar, who are basically physicians. Okay, mother is Kunti and Madri. Speaking of wife, Draupadi is the common wife of these five brothers. But Draupadi was basically a prize. Arjun won Draupadi in a Swayamvar um, that was held in the court of Drupad, King Drupad. Draupadi is the daughter of King Drupad. Okay, and she was initially married to Arjuna. It was due to some misunderstanding or something like that. They four to married Draupadi after Arjun. Okay, Subhadra is the wife of Arjun. Arjun is the only husband of Subhadra. Subhadra is the sister of Krishna and Balram and mother of Abhimanyu. Okay, now this is the last slide, and this particular slide speaks of the book of the assembly, the Sabha Parv. Now, Sabha Parv is very important because in this new syllabus, the story starts with or from Sabha Parv. So it is not easy or convenient to explain the entire Sabha Parv in this video, but I will try to, discuss the points that I already have mentioned. So Sabha Parv is the actual name. In English, we call it the Book of the Assembly Hall. Okay. Originally, it had 10 parts and 81 chapters. Still, it has 10 parts and 81 chapters if you pick the original version. But in critical edition, there are 9 parts and 72 chapters. Okay, it's the second book. First book is Adi Parv. Okay, this Sabha Parv comes after Adi Parv. Okay, Adi Parv, the English name for Adi Parv is the book of the beginning. Okay, fifth point. This book, Sabha Parv, tells us about the beauty of Indraprasth, and previously known as Khandavprasth. Basically, it was a forest, and these five brothers transformed it into a beautiful kingdom called Indraprasth. So, and in Indraprasth, when Duryodhan once paid a visit, he was insulted by Draupadi. because he fell into a trap. That's all I can say for now, because this is again a very long story and I may not be able to cover it right now. And I am promising that in future I will bring videos and I will explain each and everything. Okay, this particular book, Sabha Parv, or the Book of Assembly, this contains Shishupal Vad. Shishupal was the brother of Krishna and the son of Shrutishrava, and so he crossed the threshold of 100 mistakes or 100 insults, and then Krishna had to kill him. Okay, this also contains the Dyut Krida, the infamous Dyut Krida, the dice game in which Yudhishthir lost all his wealth and all his possessions. Okay, and it contains the shameful act of Draupadi's Chidharan, or the attempt to disrobe Draupadi. Anyone who knows Mahabharata is aware of this particular moment when Dushashan tried to disrobe Draupadi. Dushashan tried to um, snatch her sari or her attire. Okay, tried to present Draupadi naked before Duryodhan. Of course, after receiving orders from Duryodhan. And this also contains Jarasandh Vad, the ending of Jarasandh's life. Jarasandh was the king of Magad. He was a very atrocious king, and Bhim killed Jarasandh. So on the right hand side, you can find all the 18 parvs or the 18 books of Mahabharata. So I believe that I have covered a lot of relevant points in this video. If I have missed something, please write it down in the comment section. I will return back and I will explain everything in detail. Okay? Please write it down. Please make me realize that I have missed points, which I have actually, because it is not an easy task to cover a lot of points of Mahabharata or from Mahabharata in just 17 to 20 minutes. Any which way. So I have covered all the points. You can take the screenshots. Thank you for watching this video. If you find this video useful, like, subscribe, share. The usual request. Thank you.